Hi there, welcome to Tweet of the Week, and this week we're going to be taking a look at this post here, which as you can see is all about INSET. So I'm recording this at the end of August, and most of us are heading for at least one, maybe two or more days of INSET training. And as you can see from the post, sometimes that can be a frustrating process for teachers. So here are my 3 suggestions for making the most out of your INSET days. So tip number 1, INSET, especially at the start of the school year, should be focused on the most pressing concerns. Now most, if not all, schools will do some safeguarding training, look at students who are coming into the school with special needs, maybe go over any policy changes there's been. But actually, I think sometimes what we miss is what are the most pressing concerns for staff and for students and parents. So to give an example of something that sometimes gets kind of shunted to one side, a lot of parents at the start of the school year are concerned about uniform and equipment. Do all your staff know where to direct parents in those situations? Are all staff clear on exactly what's happening if there are any issues in those areas at the start of the school term? Staff, on the other hand, are often very concerned with rooming and timetables and groups and exam specs and making sure that they're really clear, or as clear as possible, on what it is they're actually going to be delivering, probably within the next 24-48 hours. I certainly have spent 1 or 2 hours in most schools going over exam results at the start of the school year. A couple of interesting things about those. I think firstly, they're historic, so they're not going to change. They're not in that sense urgent at all. And secondly, I think a lot of that is actually best done in much smaller groups and through department teams. So exam results are not something that everyone needs to be heavily involved with, particularly when you are discussing broad trends, which is really strategic decision making by management. Management may want to be clear about their upcoming priorities and how the school is going to respond, but that should not take a detailed breakdown of these results, in my opinion. So on to tip number 2. No marshmallows, no string, no sellotape, no cardboard, no newspapers, those kind of tasks that sometimes get thrown at you, in my opinion, are really just about getting people up and moving and communicating. And there are far more useful and thoughtful ways to do that. I'll give you an example. If you want people up and moving, give them 15 minutes to go and do a check of their teaching spaces and come back and report any issues that they find with those spaces. That is not only going to get them up and moving, but it is really productive, and it often puts people with a greater sense of peace of mind that actually their spaces are ready for teaching, or that they can at least get in there and report early that there is something which is going to prevent good teaching and learning happening. And finally, tip number 3 is more focused on you as an individual within the room, and that's prioritise. So at the start of the school year, the volume of things that you might get asked to do or feel that you need to do is really high. Your capacity for doing things is no different from normal. So that's where it's really important, I think, to start writing a list early and rank that list and prioritise it, so you have some clarity on your mind and what are the most important tasks, rather than just being thrown very small things, get this done, get this done, get this done, and feeling like you're a candle in the wind and in a manic rush throughout the first 2 days. Try not to get distracted by what I call false comforts. So you might feel that you need your books in order, or you might feel that your classroom needs to be really tidy, but actually sometimes that is just a kind of delay of the stress that you're going to cause because you spent a lot of time doing that and not enough time getting your content ready for the first time you're in front of students. So really be tough on yourself about what are the biggest priorities for you to be ready to do that. And communicate what you need. So for example, if you've written out that list and you think these absolutely have to be done, and you think, when am I going to get them done? Speak to your head of department. Say, look, I know we've got some department time scheduled in later on. I really need to get these things done. Can you give me some advice on when within these INSET days I'm going to be able to get the time to do that? Thank you. Okay, good luck with the start of the new school year. I hope it goes really well for you. If there was anything in this video that you found useful, please comment or stick a like on or subscribe, and I'll see you next time for Tweet of the Week.